Let that boy cook.
Hey guys, welcome to Unfiltered Thoughts. I'm your host Ronaldo, and I have a special guest with us today. His name is Erick Macias. I just want to give a quick overview of what exactly I'll be addressing on this podcast for the next few weeks. Starting off, I just want to create a space and community for young people to come together and share ideas, get out of their comfort zone, learn new perspectives, and grow physically and emotionally as people. I know some people tend to stick to a certain type of niche when it comes to podcasting, but I feel like I get trapped when I have to focus on one certain thing. So I want to open up this podcast to all sorts of people, and I hope we can have some fun on this podcast today. I'm happy to have you here.
Thanks for
having me. How you feeling?
I'm tired.
Tired?
It took a long time to set up.
Guys, this took like at least an hour and a half to set up. But this is my first time setting it up, but I feel like now I got the hang of it.
It looks good though.
Yeah, it does look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
So, that's all that matters.
Facts. So basically, just introduce yourself, talk about your name, just some couple little basic things, you know.
Okay. My name is Erick Giovanni Macias. I'm 25 years old. Marin baby. I grew up and lived in all parts of Marin County. Some interesting facts about my life. I was in the Marine Corps for 6 years. I saw a lot of things, experienced a lot of unique events that most people wouldn't experience in their normal life.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting fact.
We're basically just going to talk about a few things. If y'all didn't know, this is my brother. Since day one, he's obviously been my brother, but I want to talk about your childhood, your educational career, and your military life. Those are the three main things I want to talk about. But we can also get into what you're doing now and what you plan to do in the future as well if we get to there. I brought him on because he's been through a lot. He's had a lot of experiences. I hope some of you guys can relate to what he's talking about. And for those who don't, I hope you guys just hear a cool story. But let's get started. So, your childhood. Obviously, since you're the firstborn, probably like 8 years of your life, you were the only child. How was that? How was it being an only child?
Well, I grew up obviously an only child. My mom had me when she was really young. She was about in her 20 years old, 19 years old. Given such, we didn't really have a lot of money when I was growing up, so we would be living with family members, relatives, my grandma, kind of just going house to house for a little bit until my mom was able to afford an apartment for us. And our first one was actually in Terra Linda, close to the Civic Center. That was pretty cool, having my own spot. I don't really remember too much because I was about 4 years old when we got to live in our own space, but from what I can remember, it was nice having my own room for once. Shortly after we moved to Terra Linda, my mom partnered with your current dad, my stepfather. And ever since then, he's just been around. So, since I was 4, I guess. Yeah.
I've always wondered, like, what are your initial thoughts when mom told you that she was pregnant with me? You were still pretty young, so I know it's probably going to be a little bit of a blur. But, like, how did it make you feel? Were you happy? Like, were you sad? Were you mad?
I was confused. So it was nice knowing that I wouldn't be alone anymore. I was like, just me, my mom, and her husband. But, I was confused. I didn't know what to feel. Obviously, I was alone for, like, most of my childhood, so I didn't know what to expect. But when you were born, it was like a instant bond, like knowing like, oh shit, I have a brother now. Yeah, it's pretty cool growing up with you, even though you're annoying. But
anyways, how was family like? Like how were you close with your cousins? Were you not close with your cousins? Would you hang out with them?
Yeah, I was really close with all my cousins. Mainly Sabrina, who's close to my age, who was more like a sister to me, and Junior, who's a few years older than me. But for the most part, I was always close with my relatives. I'd hang out with everyone. And then you could still say that I'm the neutral grounds with most of the family.
For those of y'all who don't know, our family's pretty crazy. Although, even though I love you guys get a little wild sometimes, get out of hand, but it's all love at the end of the day. Now this is what I really wanted to get into. Your experience with education, or more specifically, the lack thereof. No, I'm just kidding. But I can tell you guys right away that he's not no Albert Einstein or anything. But I hope he has some funny stories to tell us about his education. Let's start off at the beginning. Like your elementary school life, kindergarten life, like those are like core memory moments. Like if there's anything, those are the memories you cherish the most. So I want to hear some of your stories.
Well, elementary school, middle school, and high school, you could say I had a rap sheet for every single grade. I was a troublemaker. I was always in the office. Yeah. I remember in kindergarten, I remember Mom picking me up from school because I had like a temper tantrum and started throwing chairs around.
Oh, she told me about that. She said that you threw a chair at Miss Mortensen. She was the nicest teacher.
Yeah,
The nicest.
that happened. In preschool, before that, I fell off a slide and cracked my head open. So I have a scar right here. You can't see it anymore now, but that was funny, I guess. Middle school, I guess you could say I was a little more rambunctious, a little more devious, getting in fights and stuff. I had to go to a different middle school, so I was at San Jose. Then I went to Hill, which closed down. It's like
it's like a secondary continuation
school. Yeah, that happened. Mom wasn't too happy about that. High school was pretty chill for the most part. Yeah, nothing really crazy happened in high school.
But yeah, let's go back to middle school because, like you said, you got kicked out of San Jose. What grade did you get kicked out of San Jose? Seventh grade?
I think.
Alright. Hold up, guys. My camera just fell. Let me fix it real quick. Alright, guys. We're back. We're good. We're chilling. So yeah. So you said you were 7th grade when you got kicked out of San Jose?
Yeah.
And
7th grade, pretty sure.
And you got kicked out for
too many referrals.
And
yeah.
Referrals are
it's basically like a write-up from your teacher, and then they send it to the office. And you have to speak to your counselor and the principal.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They printed them out when I got transferred to the other school. It was pages and pages. And I was like,
oh, hell no.
Damn.
How was your experience at San Jose when you were there? How was it? Because now it's way different than obviously how it used to be.
You could say it was ghetto.
Ghetto?
I guess. There's a lot of fights, a lot of like things that shouldn't be happening in a middle school.
Yeah. Like, what was the craziest fight you ever saw there?
These two girls were fighting right in front of the library, and she got taken out to the ambulance in a stretcher because the girl slammed her head into the concrete.
Oh, hell no. Damn. In a stretcher? And then when you switched to Hill, how was that? It was
the same thing.
Same thing?
Yeah, it was a fight like the first day I got there, and I was like, alright, this is just Novato, I guess.
Damn.
So yeah, that was...
So, like, before it was a continuation school, but, like, it was still low-key considered, like, a school you wouldn't want to go to.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it was just...
Yeah, my grades went up, let's just say that. The curriculum was a lot more easier.
Yeah. And then, let's go to high school now. You were 4-year wrestling, or
Yeah.
what? Yeah, 4-year wrestling athlete, captain of the wrestling team your senior year,
Senior year.
and you won MCALs your senior year as well.
No, I got second place in MCALs.
And then
And then I went to NCS and I got basically my knee like popped out of place and then they disqualified me because I couldn't wrestle anymore.
and how did that feel? Like you were just that close to winning it.
It just kind of sucked because it was my last year, so I couldn't keep going. But it was alright. It was still fun. I enjoyed it.
You did it.
Yeah. You guys can see me in the newspapers in your what's it called, the principal office.
Oh yeah. So your team though, as a team, you guys won MCALs.
Yeah, we got the banners for Nevada High for like 2012 to 2015.
2015. Yeah. He has like a little newspaper hanging up in the wall. It's just like when you go back and like now when you go like walk past it, like how does that make you feel, like knowing that you had some level of success in wrestling?
It was cool. Yeah, I don't really dwell on it. I don't know.
Did you ever think about like just keep going with it, or did that never cross your mind?
Nah, I was more into, that's when, because around that time, mixed martial arts was getting really big, and I was thinking of doing that. But, ended up going to the Marine Corps.
Yeah. But like before you went to the Marines, like you thought about going to Marines your senior year, but then like you kind of like backed out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, so after I graduated high school, I was doing the pulley system. It's like the feeder for going into boot camp and doing all that. But I waited a year. I went to SRJC for a year. I actually was doing pretty good. I had like a 3.6 for that whole year. I finished my English like the first year because I was already advanced in that. That was my strongest subject in school, was writing. I was a really good writer. And math. But yeah, it was like easy, but I don't like classroom settings. So it was just really boring to me.
It was boring.
So I was like, I don't want to do this.
I mean, I feel you. I don't feel like going to class that often either. But it's hard though. You gotta go. Like, how was your experience? Like, your personal opinion on education? Like, is it important? Like, is it important what you believe in?
It's important to have a certain level of education. I wouldn't say necessarily college is a necessity for everyone. I believe that certain people should attend college, but I think a majority of people can do without it if you have reached a certain level of education prior to.
And then, do you think school is for everyone?
Do you mean like grade school or college?
Like, in general, like...
Yes, I think grade school should always be required for everyone.
And then, like, for college, you think some people will, like, see more success not going to college and just pursuing what they want, like, as their dream? Or do you think getting some base of college experience will give you more success in the real world?
I believe that if you are a go-getter in life and you don't need something to back you up and to fall on, that'll determine your success in life, then yes, you can do without. But if you can't and you're kind of lost, I think college is a great way to kind of feed you into what your interests are and what you might like. But it can also show you what you don't like, so you know what not to do. But that's why you're able to change majors.
Right. Sorry guys for the noise in the background. The cars are just going by and the mic's picking up everything, but it's alright. I didn't have anything kind of set up for the military, for your military life, but let's talk about how it started. Like, when did you really get serious about going to the Marines? Or like, why did you even think about going to the Marines to begin with?
don't know. I've been asked this question a lot, so. Let's see. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I think I was kind of just being lost and not really knowing what I wanted to do, and thinking that it was more of a solution than a path. You know.
Solution to what?
To figuring out what I wanted to do with life.
And what was your like job in the Marines?
I was a 2111 small arm repairsman. So essentially, my job was composed of building, repairing, inspecting, and storing weapons for our combat logistics unit.
So like you would just any gun that needed to be fixed or
for the most part, except for certain snipers. Yeah, certain snipers. That's about it.
I mean, like, was there requirements like you needed to learn how to shoot every gun? Like,
so, essentially, for the Marine Corps, every Marine is a rifleman. So, even if you're not an infantryman, you still have to go to an infantry school after boot camp, right? So it's 3 months of boot camp, and then it's 2 months or something like that of infantry training. So it's going to be like learning how to use a compass, how to use a map, combat tactics, shooting. We got to shoot like M240 Bravo machine guns. That's those big ones that you see in like Rambo.
the ones that like on the cars and stuff.
We shot grenade launchers. Yeah, it was cool. The grenades, we got to throw grenades too. That was cool. Yeah, so I mean, you kind of just learn how to use everything, right? Like I said, every Marine's a rifleman, so you got to be ready for whatever, right? Your MOS is the first, but when it comes to battle, you have to be prepared, and that's that's the Marines, essentially, right? That's and why we're considered the top.
Right. And since you were a reserve, for those of you like who don't know, like reserves stay in the military longer because they're not active duty. Active duty only have 4 years, or how does that work?
So essentially, there's active duty where your contract is 4 years, reserves are 6. Active duty will stay on a base or get deployed to a certain area where they'll stay for the remainder of their contract. They do move around in between. For reserves, we do our MOS training, and then we get sent to a reserve unit. So my unit was in San Jose, but since my MOS school took so long, I ended up actually staying on active duty for 2.5 years. Right, so essentially, like almost half of my contract, I was active duty, and then I dropped to the reserve side over here in San Jose, and they sent me out on active duty assignments.
And then, can you talk about those assignments, or?
They would just send me places to do my job, essentially.
Right. Let's talk about boot camp. Because I can remember like very vividly when you left. Like it was for a summer. It was like the whole summer you were just gone. I mean, for me it was kind of cool. I had the room to myself, so I wasn't really tripping about it. But for you, it must have been like, crazy.
Yeah. It was like a shock to see how life kind of just changed really quickly. The whole point of boot camp is to kind of break you down to your core, basically dehumanizing you, making you nothing, and then building you up from the ground.
And like one thing I noticed, like when we went to go see you in San Diego, was it Camp Pendleton?
Yeah.
You were like hella skinny, like super like anorexic almost.
Yeah.
Like how was that? Like were they like not feeding you or?
No, they fed you well, but it's just like you're always moving, you're always doing something. Like there's PT in the mornings. You wake up at like 4, and then you go eat at like 4:30 in the morning. You go change, you do exercise, you go change again, you do marching drills, you go change again, you go to like classes throughout boot camp.
And like the classes are like kind of
like classroom setting, more like a college room where it's like a room with a bunch of chairs, I guess, arena type layout. You have to take a test at the end of boot camp too. There's knowledge tests.
And Like, how were like the living conditions at the camp?
Well, you're with like 40 dudes, 30 to 40 dudes, and like it's called a barrack, right? So it's a bunch of bunk beds lined up in a row, and then you have the drill instructor room, that there, and you're basically like a robot. Like they just tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and then you just get like hazed all day. So there's this thing called IT, it was incentive training. Essentially, it's like a punishment. So whenever you're doing something wrong, they'll make you do exercise. And of course, when you go in there looking fit, they like to pick on you the most because they think you could take it. So I would get like pulled out of my bed in the middle of the night, and they would make me do exercises at like 3, 2 in the morning.
Oh hell no, that's
Or
crazy.
they'd come and throw your bed on the ground. You're in a bunk bed, right? So they'd come and tip it over, and you just fall out. And then, just, things like that.
No one's gonna say anything. Like, who's gonna stop them?
So yeah.
Yeah. What's the quarter deck called? Because I heard a lot of people talk about the
quarter deck is where you get IT. So that's like the right when you walk into a barrack, there's like an area that's just empty, and that's where you sweat and get exercise and hazed for long periods of time.
And does like your other like I don't know, fellow like people that are with you do they like tell you anything like when that happens like afterwards? No, because they're like, oh, that shit might happen to me, like I'm not trying to do it.
Yeah, no, everyone's pretty quiet for the most part. You have like times where you can like talk in the nighttime, but for the most part, those 3 months it was like mouth closed, eyes forward.
Yeah, like one of the things like I remember the most was like we went to go eat like right after he had just got out of like the boot camp. Like he had just got out, and then we were trying to talk to him, and Mans was just like cold face, like nobody was there. Like you were just zoned out, and it like took you a couple of tries. Like we had to tap you on the shoulder just to like get you to like be like notice. Like how is that like just like coming back into society and just
it was just weird. I was so used to the culture of being in boot camp to coming back to being a civilian, is what we call it. It was like, oh yeah, I don't have to do these things anymore.
Right. Yeah, like I see these things on TikTok. I think I sent you one. It's like the guy walks in and he takes his hat off,
yeah.
and then he's like, wait, why did I take my hat off?
Yeah.
Or like he's on the phone while he's like on the grass, or like he's walking while he's on the grass, and he's like, why am I?
Yeah, like you can't walk and be on the phone. You have to have your hat off when you walk into a building. You have to have your hat on when you walk out of the building. You can't chew and walk. What else? Your sleeves have to be rolled really neatly. Your boots have to be bloused like your pant. What else? Things like that. Really particular about the way you are, right? Because as a Marine, you're supposed to carry yourself as a professional.
Right.
So that's the whole theory behind that.
Okay. I think we talked about like everything I wanted to cover. Some of the main points were just your childhood, your education, and then your military life. But I want to talk about like now, like what you're up to now, because for those of you who don't know, or like maybe some of you have noticed him at Body Kinetics. You're like a manager you used to be a manager at Body Kinetics, and then you used to work at the one right across the street here in Novato, and then you transferred to the one in San Rafael to run that one, right?
Yeah, so I was managing the San Rafael one for a year and a half. I was also doing personal training there as well at the same time. But recently, I got a new job doing sales for home security in San Francisco, which is a lot better.
It's been doing you justice. It's been doing you justice.
They pay very well.
But let's go back to the training. Like, what do you have to do to become a trainer, like at any gym?
It's not hard, but you have to pass the NASM, which is basically a test. That's it.
It's just a test. And like, how long did you study for it?
A couple months. I took a long time. I was in no rush during the process, so I took my time. He could do it in like a month if you really like buckle down and pay attention,
just
actually
focus.
study. But I would study at work, get paid to study.
Yeah.
So
How is like working out for you? Like, what does that do for you? Because like
in what sense?
in like just in any sense, like in your personal life, like your lifestyle. Like I remember like straight out of high school, like you like in the time that you were like not in the military, but like you were like still in college and like trying to figure out what you were gonna do, like you were kind of like going to the gym heavy and just like really like putting in work in the gym.
I mean, I've worked out since I was 13. Mom would take me to the gym with her to work out, and ever since then I was hooked. But I mean, overall, it's like a good stress reliever. It releases endorphins in your body. It just keeps you mentally sane, level-headed. Just overall good for you. That's all it is.
What's the PR you're most proud of? Or
Shit. Either 500 squat or the 315 bench.
500 squat, half a ton. No, quarter ton. Like quarter ton squat. Because a ton's 2,000 pounds, right?
I don't know.
You don't even know. I don't even know either, honestly. But I think it's like, that's crazy though, 500 pounds. And that's one rep, or how many reps is that? One rep. And how did you feel after that?
I was gonna pass out.
Jesus, man. What else is there to talk about? See, you got the Berks on. Man,
Had to.
had to pull them out.
It's critical.
It's critical.
Let's see. I don't know. What do you want to hear? I got stories.
Man, spill them. Spill the stories. I got time.
I don't like how. What you want to get dark or what? You want a funny story? What do you want?
Fuck, let's hear a funny story. You started off.
Funny story? Fuck. All right. So, at boot camp, we do this inspection at nighttime. Essentially, where it's like a process where you're doing it, but the drill instructors are going around screaming at you, just like basically harassing you before you go to bed. And this one, keep in mind, like we're all basically like grown, right? Everyone's like 18 and up there.
Right.
And there's this guy just getting railed, man, just drilled. He's getting every drill instructor in his face, screaming, spitting on him, and just you see him go red, purple, white, and he just starts peeing all over himself.
There's no way.
Big puddle on the ground, and it's just like, damn. That cracked me up. And you could just see everyone like trying not to laugh, so everyone's looking up, just it's bad.
That's embarrassing. How I would feel terrible to just. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Man, I heard they also like make fun of fat people there too, like a lot.
Yeah, dude. If you're overweight and you go to boot camp, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're done. Like, you just sign yourself up for hell every morning, every night before you go to bed. Like, they're gonna make you lose that weight, one way or another. But yeah, no, don't do it. 10 out of 10 would not recommend.
And you didn't get the scat pack that they promised.
No, I got a Benz.
You got a Benz. Yeah. That's crazy. Well, tell them about the story about I think I don't know. You said like you were like patrolling in the night at boot camp, and then like you were just talking on the walkie-talkie. I forgot what it was, but like I think it was like a cat or something about a cat. I don't know if it was a cat or like.
Oh, we were doing this night patrol thing, and then it's like a requirement in boot camp. We do a patrol around the perimeter, kind of just like tactics and whatnot. And we're like going, and I hear on the walkie like Roger, we have a intruder or something. And I go over. What is it? And they go, there's two cats fucking on the lawn. It's like 1 a.m. What the fuck? They go over there, and there's literally 2 cats just dogging it out, like right in front of the barracks.
Oh my gosh.
And that was comedy.
And then like it's just like dark humor that you guys just like have to like have like in the Marines. Like you guys are just going through so much. Like that's the only type of humor that'll just make you laugh. Because I feel like something corny won't just make you laugh at that point.
Yeah, it's pretty vulgar things that we laugh about. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Something that
a normal person walking into like a group just of Marines talking, you're gonna be like, "What is wrong with those people?"
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine that. But yeah, it's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to get the podcast started with someone that would take it serious, because a lot of people my age don't really take it serious.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are asking or just gonna ask, like I'm trying to take this more serious, like after the senior project. So I hope that people like it and would like want to hop on the pod, because I know some people just like they say that like yeah I like it, and then like behind your back they'll just go talk like loads of smack about it and just like hate on you. Like at the end of the day, like if they're hating on you, that means they're watching what you're doing. So I mean, I'm not really tripping about it. Like you're just giving me an extra view, I guess. But
who cares?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thanks for coming. Thanks for talking. My next guest will probably be on, I think Wednesday. Today's Monday, so Wednesday I'm gonna have my next guest, and then Friday I will have one more guest on, and then that'll be at like the end of like the senior project part of the podcast. But check the Instagram on Unfiltered Thoughts. I'm gonna be posting behind the scenes, as well as like little short reels or clips about what we talked about here. But yeah, I just want to make the podcast just like a safe place for people to come and talk and just vibe, share stories, just people who are interesting as well. I don't want just random people on just to have them on, but I want to have someone that has a story or someone that is contributing something. But like you, for example, like you're military, you have like a lot of experiences, like you have a lot of stuff you can talk about. So I appreciate you coming on. I hope it's not the last time you come on.
Whenever.
But sounds good. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Peace.
Peace.